Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Tarot for Our Times. This is Sarah, your medium on the go, and I'm doing this with my phone today because it's a very long Mercury retrograde tale with my computer, which is, I'm getting a new one, but they've got to transfer all the stuff from the old one onto the new one. So by midweek, I'll be doing it on a laptop again. So, in my quest to be a little bit different from the others, the story that hit me, there's so much going on, tariffs, this and that. I mean, I will be getting to that stuff this week. But as a weekend thing, I did want to talk about comedian Bill Maher being a guest at the White House. And I didn't know about this until, was it yesterday? I think I was on Saturday. I watched an Adam Mokler video, and he's part of the Midas Touch gang. And this young guy has a lot of insight. So he talked about Bill Maher going to the White House and talking to Trump. And the whole thing was, he's not such a bad guy after all, this, that, and the other thing. And I do agree with this young man when he said that now this doesn't mean that Bill Maher has gone all MAGA. He hasn't, but he kind of got a little bit sucked in by the the whole supposed Trump charisma, or whatever you want to call it. So I would say that I agree with him that he's not going MAGA on us or changing his basic political beliefs, but that there is something disturbing about this. And it's kind of like the, Joe and Mika from MSNBC going down to Mar-a-Lago, but kind of a little bit of different. And I think I'm going to be looking at the cards for that. So if you've seen on my thumbnail that I have the photo of I don't know if it was Friday night or whenever that dinner was at the White House, I immediately thought of the Duke and Duchess of Windsor honeymooning in Berlin and hosted by Adolf Hitler. Now, the difference, the similarity is like, Hitler and Trump, they're not such bad guys. And it really comes down to malignant narcissists really can charm the hell out of you. Some of them, I'm not saying I'd be immune to that either, but they do have that sort of thing. And we've all been taken in by them. They're not on such a grand scale like these two characters. But I will say that the thing with Bill Maher is that he differs from the Windsors in that, they were Nazis basically, and he had to be given a governorship across the pond to keep him out of the way during World War II. So it's not that way with Bill Maher. He's he's fairly liberal, but the whole fact that he got charmed, I find that disturbing. So let's see. I'm looking at my notes. Another thing is, and I don't know if I heard someone else, maybe it was Tabitha. I think it was Tabitha Talks Politics. Brought up a good point, is that Bill Maher is a rich guy. He's a rich guy. He is not going to be affected by these drastic cuts. The only way he'll be affected is that maybe if he didn't get in on the ground floor of that, yanking back the tariffs to benefit the stock market. And this is a good time for me to interject with, for entertainment purposes only. So it'll be interesting to see. I think that Bill Maher probably is going to lose a lot of his audience. And he kind of lost me a while ago. Every now and then I'll look at a video that looks intriguing and funny. I think I might not be bothered unless it's just to kind of learn where he's at. But I've had this off and on, hot and cold relationship with, you know, I used to religiously watch segments of Real Time, but I haven't as much recently. So I want to see, I want to do a reading on the dangers of people doing things like that. Um, and that then, you know, kind of like how it impacts us, because I do think in some way that it will. Now, today I'm going to be dealing with the little guys as far as my tarot cards go. I got a new deck yesterday, and it's pretty much, which will be my clarifiers, but it's pretty much on based on the standard rider deck, but it kind of takes off on these very interesting the tangents that'll be kind of really kind of interesting to see. Now, you'll see when I use them. So I have been doing a bit of shuffling. So I'll do a little bit more. Oh, these are this is the hard ones to shuffle, like the poker shuffle. So, and it might be a bit awkward for me to turn, although I did practice to turn the camera down to the spreads, but we will see what will happen here. Okay, but you know me, I'm no techno perfect person. Okay, so on the, oh, and I gotta give this another shuffle because they were really put in order with the arcanas, and I did all my little artwork so that the YouTube people won't be looking at anatomy. Okay, give this another shuffle, which I have been shuffling this before. Okay, so here goes. Crossing my fingers that, okay, so, okay. Well, it's sort of like, we'll see what happens here. Not quite as good as, so, okay, so on the dangers of such an action, with these people like Bill Maher and the others doing it. We've got the Page of Cups in reverse, and that's the kind of wondering about going through an identity crisis, which maybe he is. It's also what I call the Musk Titty Baby card. And let's see. Okay, yeah, this is going to be a little bit difficult to do, but okay, so we've got that down there. The energy crossing it is the Knight of Wands, which is kind of charging there. And this is telling me he kind of charged into it, and I think this is not going to work like this. Oh, okay. And really did not give this a lot of thought. So we have the immature identity crisis Page of Cups in reverse crossed with the Knight of Wands in reverse. So we're going to see what's the underlying thing for this. This is something we should be aware, because this to me, this is kind of disturbing. So in the past part of this, we have the interesting, this Nine of Swords, which is the insomnia thing. This is about the nightmares and also the subconscious in trying to maybe slay the dragon, so to speak. So there's a lot of psychological stuff going on with this whole thing. And it seems like we have to be dragged into all these people's neuroses. That's what I find disturbing. Then we have here, the King of Pentacles with a bull. So this is telling me this is Taurus energy, and we're not quite in Taurus. We will be in the sun goes into Taurus on the 20th, which is, oh, it'll be Friday, I guess. Yeah, wow, I can't believe how this. So this is about home and feeling secure, and also the King of Pentacles is someone that that they really kind of made their way from the bottom up. So I'm wondering if this could be a Bill Maher thing. I don't know what sign he is. I mean, I guess I could look that up real quick because I do have him on my, I don't think he's Taurus, but what this tells me is that there may be a Taurus element coming into, or someone who is a Taurus. Come on. Okay, let's see. He should come up pretty fast. Come on, you guys. So, this could tell me that there could be something going on when the sun gets, well, there's that April 20th, Hitler's birthday, and, yeah, Hitler's birthday, and then, I don't know, some weird stuff is supposed to happen. Okay, let's see. So, let's see what, okay, here we go. Yeah, that could be something that is, okay, here we go. January 20th, he's kind of, I don't know if that's when Aquarius begins or that still may be Capricorn. So, and he's 69 years old, so he probably is going through some kind of identity crisis. Well, that he could very well could still be an earth sign, which Taurus is. Yeah, so something tells me there is something about the 20th of April. I'm not giving it much thing like this. So they're saying martial law or this or that, but there's, I don't know what that is, but I think people are getting hysterical over that. So that could be an underlying energy of this reading. And then we have, the sun. The sun. So this is funny because you've got these two little babies here. One is holding the flag and the other one's pulling. It looks like they're fighting over it. Like the kids are fighting over this as the truth comes out. So this whole thing could be about, while people are squabbling and fighting, there is going to be a truth that comes to light. And since this guy is right next to, this guy here with the bull, that maybe that April 20th is going to be, something is going to come to light, and that he may end up being pretty embarrassed by this. So, okay, so in opposition of this, we have the Eight of Pentacles in reverse, which is telling me that he thinks he really thought this out, but I don't think he did. And see, this goes back to that whole thing of MSNBC and CNN and all those other douchebags normalizing Trump. So this is another thing in that. And to me, that is just that. To me, this is where the danger lies. So subconscious thought we have, conscious thought we have the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Terrible legacy. And I think he really knows that this is a corrupt guy. But, criminals can be very charming. They really can be. Go to any mafia hangout or, in New York or where any big city. And if they take a liking to you, have some wine and this and that. And I mean, it's just they kind of seduce people in there. Okay, so consciously knowing that this is a whole criminal, and this goes back to people, and this has come up in readings before. It's that people really are very taken with criminal enterprises. Like The Godfather was a hit. I love The Godfather. I mean, there's kind of this attraction, and it's all over the world, but it's somehow been deified in American culture. So it's kind of like, ooh, I'm having dinner with a criminal tonight, and he's so nice too. Yeah, that's kind of dangerous. It really goes to the core of these really appalling values that we have. Okay. Subconsciously, the truth is, I think deep down inside, he knows that this just is not a healthy mess. It just is not a healthy message to send out. So we got those. So in the past, we have the Knight of Cups reversed, which is about, again, the over-romanticization of criminality. And it's also kind of like this false stalking kind of thing. Like, ooh, let's see how the other half lives. And I want to make him fall in love with me too at the same time. This whole thing is really, I think that the danger that lies, it's reinforcing a lot of really toxicity. Okay, so in the present we have Ace of Wands in reverse. Like, this thing is going to just fizzle out. It's, which it may be that people are not going to be so in love with the comedian anymore. Oh, and this brings me to another point, is that this is, I almost forgot the most important thing, is that this is, he is the Fool in reverse. And the Fool in reverse is like reckless, but it's also like becoming like the court chick, because he is kind of dressed like the court jester kind of a thing. And in the old time when the Jews lived in the ghettos in Europe, there was always one or two in the community that went to the castle, and they called him the court Jew, and he was a comedian, and he entertained, either thinking totally self-serving, or, oh, well, maybe things will be better for my people, when all he was the court jester. So it's sort of like Jewish shucking and jiving kind of a thing. So every single culture has that. So I'm getting some of that energy with this, but this wands, now that we're in the present with the wands, Ace of Wands in reverse, is I think a lot of people are just going to be turned off with that. A lot of them that kind of let a lot of his other stuff slide. This is like a bridge too far. So in the immediate future, we have the Knight of Pentacles, and this is the loyal knight. And when you hear parts of it, if you listen to Adam Mokler, I think he put this out yesterday, I think it was yesterday. It kind of, it's sort of like sickening how, how Bill Maher recounted some of these things. So this makes you wonder, where is he loyal to the orange one? I mean, there's sort of something about one celebrity kind of being intoxicated with another. So this is putting a thought. So it's very confusing to the public when people do that. Others, to me, like Bill Maher, is a dilettante. He kind of goes where the wind blows. He's got a lot of money. I mean, a lot of people do that are kind of on the right side of history, but why should he care? And all of this sort of thing. And who knows what the orange one is going to say about him behind his back. Like, ha, 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 I moved on him like a bitch. You know what I mean? Okay, so more long-term is Eight of Swords in reverse. I think this is going to turn so many people off that they're going to get off the pity pot, and even though there's been big turnouts at the demonstrations, I think this is going to get other people who have been in this real funk since November. It's going to, the binds, the blindfold, all of that stuff is going to come out. The toxic thoughts are pulled away by gravity. So then you're going to have, in the long term, people are going to be so turned off about this, and they're Hollywood elite and yada yada. I mean, the Hollywood elite and Kid Rock was at the time. I mean, the whole thing is just totally nauseating. Okay, so in the hopes and the fears, Cannot make this stuff up. This is pretty much all for, I think what he was hoping for was some kind of a new beginning, and maybe to get people um, not hating on Trump so much anymore. And can't we all love each other? I mean, it's totally sickening. Okay, so then we have but this is reckless. To me, the fool in reverse is reckless and being the fool and being, he set himself up to be the court jester of that whole dinner, no matter what he or the other, that's what it is. And it's all the like the shucking and just. So what this is about is that people are going to be, they're going to be turned off and maybe not quite trust other comedians. You know. So let's see. I'm going to put a clarifier on here. Okay. This is a really interesting Ten of Swords. Usually he's got the bundle of swords, rods, I'm sorry. He's got all of these things on his back, carrying them in the 10. And it's the end of a cycle. So it's kind of like it's saying like, I've had enough. I'm dropping them. I'm going to lean on this other one to give me some support and rest. And then I'm moving on. I'm not carrying these burdens anymore. So I would say that in people seeing this fool in reverse is saying, I'm just tired of putting all of my, hopes on these entertainment people who just, and that's what Joe and Mika basically are. I mean, you can't take them seriously. So pretty much, it's kind of like people say, I'm tired of carrying the burden. Well, these dilettantes are blowing with whatever way the wind blows. So I'm done. I'm done. And that this is people getting fed up. So there is a little bit of hope in this, in seeing him for who he really is. Because the danger is our values, the values, and that thinking this is okay, and people convincing themselves that this is okay. So the concluding lesson to be learned about this is, so we have the Lovers here. So this to me is about Bill Maher and Trump kind of, they're not I think he hugged him I think it's something sickening like, but still kind of keeping the distance a little bit, but it's still the lovers. And that maybe the MAGA people, as seen by the angel that's running the show, is saying, oh, we're going to win him over. So this is where the danger lies. The danger lies about winning people over. And although I don't think it's going to quite work, as people's 401ks are tanking, and I mean the market had a little boost, but it's going to be up and down, up and down. So then I want to do a clarifier on this. So then we have the moon. We have the moon, and this is an interesting one because it's the usual characters with the crab and the dog, but we have this figure in the back by the pillars of transformation, and that person is further along in the journey. So this is a positive thing. This is like saying it's time to remove ourselves from the path of these dogs that are going to be probably going at it any second and howling at the moon, and kind of standing in the light. This is what this person is, standing in the light, the sun illuminating the moon. And we just had a full moon, but this is taking a look at the elements of the self, that whole subconscious thing of the early evolution, your wild nature, your tame nature, and kind of standing in the path and staring them down and saying, I'm going to look at you. So this is the lesson of like not trusting these alliances or what he says, but to really take care of yourself and take a look and say, he may be selling this stuff, but you know what? I'm not really buying it, because this is the danger of this is the furtherance of having some really, really bad values of the adoration of criminals. And and Trump was a big joke. 10 years ago he was a big joke. I remember one person in particular who she and I shared the mediumship platform, and we were friends. But it's like 10 years ago when she was sort of, oh, he's a riot, isn't he such a riot? And then it evolved into her becoming a MAGA person that I eventually had to. It took me a while, it took me a few years, but I had to block her. And this is the whole thing, like, oh, he's such a riot, and people like not taking it seriously, and then they take it seriously. Oh, so what I want to do to kind of take a look at I love doing this sometimes. The bottom of the deck, the magician. But in this one, he really is a magician, because he's levitating all of those things. So this is the super magician. And to me, this is kind of like a hypnotizing sort of thing. So what it's saying is that in a way, Maher got hypnotized by him, and we really need to stop this. This is this whole nonsense with celebrities that we worship too. So let's see what it's at the bottom of this deck. Okay, the wands. Okay, there's a new message. There's a new message to come, and to really take a close look and see what inspires us, and to take a look at our values, because this sends such a bad message, and it really goes to the heart of like everything that's wrong with us. So which kind of leads us into our next reading, which we may be able to, let's see, well, I always say it's going to be a short one, but who knows. So I'm going to shuffle these guys up here. Very interesting deck. It's the first time I've used it. I got it yesterday when I was out and about in the eastern part of Pennsylvania, the eastern part of Pittsburgh. Okay, so here we go. Okay, good. This old workhorse, I've beaten this deck. I think there's coffee stains and everything on this deck, so this is a well-worn deck. But this is your standard rider. I like it with a standard rider with this kind of going off the rails rider. Okay, so alrighty. So let's see about going into this. So we've seen the dangers. So let's see what can we kind of learn from this. We've already gotten a hint. So as the signifier, Three of Pentacles in reverse. This is pretty much about not being sold a bill of goods, not being convinced so easily in the bargaining. And I think this is what this whole thing, like, I'm just not buying his message. I'm just not buying it. It's just appalling. We were not meant to get along with everybody, and that there is, oh, I had something flip out, so I'll do, okay. So we've got the World in reverse as the energy crossing this. And this is pretty much with the traditional thing. So this is about unfinished business. First we have the signifier saying they may be selling, but we don't have to buy. And that this actually presents more questions than it answers. So this is all about we could be really close to finishing the cycle, but when people do pull stunts like this, it just leaves some unfinished business. It also tells me that maybe, and it's none of my business, but maybe some unfinished things with Bill. I mean, he's very open. I mean, and he he says stuff to insult people, but I'm feeling that maybe there's a big codependent people pleaser there for entertainment purposes only. So underlying this, we have temperance. Oh, really interesting for us, but this is a little bit different. This is kind of like this guy's dumping this angel is dumping. Usually they've got the one cup with their, one into the other with the earth and the water. Well, there still is a 1 foot on the more the reason and the into the other and the emotional intuition thing. This is pouring out saying, this is garbage. I'm pouring this out. I'm pouring this out, and I'm just not going to I'm just not going to hold it in the cup to have peace. So this is, for us, this is kind of like, this is encouraging. We're not buying it anymore. It's like, we got to reject this nonsense right away. And this has been going on for a while. I guess people weren't surprised with him. I think it had been someone else. That would have been like Whoopi Goldberg or so. That would be really disturbing. Okay, I'm just coming up with, or Sarah Silverman. It would be like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Bill Maher. Okay, then we have, the devil. The devil with these people kind of entwined in an embrace, but they're not chained to him. Usually they're chained to him. But it's kind of like an ugly scene. So this is the devil kind of, I don't know, watching or something like that. So this is about, I think, bringing us to our demons. And maybe the toxic relationships we've had personally, but also toxic relationships we've had with celebrities too. And that really is devil energy. But let's see. Okay, then we have the 5 of Wands. And this is really people just fighting, and battling. But you know what? These guys on the ground, and they're done. I think the fight's over. It's like, we're tired of fighting. So I would say that this is like, learn the lesson and move on. And see, he was all about like, I'm so tired of people fighting with each other. So this was his big motivating thing to go have the dinner. But it's kind of like, we're kind of tired of fighting too, but that doesn't mean we have to give up our principles. We just take a break. And maybe I think what this card is also saying is, maybe they're saying, who are the enemies here? Maybe they're all kind of looking at each other saying, oh, we had a good tussle, but maybe we shouldn't be fighting with each other. So this is more about bringing the, as more people become disenchanted, shall I say, with their votes, then this is all about saying, let's see who the enemy really is. And some rich comedian having dinner with the enemy and saying, why can't we all get along? No, that's the one we need to keep fighting. But maybe we don't need to keep fighting among ourselves. So this is about him delivering a really, really bad message. So opposing this, we have the 4 of Swords. And that's kind of like, you know what? We need to take a break from drama like this. We need to learn from it. We need to take a little break, reconsider, and get up and fight another day, because this is just celebrity silliness. Okay, so in the past, we have, oh, isn't this funny? Okay, same guys, but they're in reverse now. So it's kind of interesting, but this is inner battles as well when this is in reverse. But this is kind of like, maybe we need to stop fighting each other and see who the enemy really is. And it is not going to be solved by having dinner with the head of the enemy. So that, okay, so let's see. In the present, we have to figure out what our legacy is. And this is in the spirit of, families creating prosperity by cooperation, and also staying healthy by cooperation. So it's like maybe we need to consider our own legacy and look at stuff like this as it's really horrible, it's really awful, but we need to kind of keep our own house in order and just look at it with the contempt that it truly deserves, and that's it. Okay, so then we have the king coming up. We have the King of Wands. Boy, this is telling me that I'm going to bet that, see, this is like the really mean and nasty, unfaithful nature of the clown in chief, which is telling me wait for the next week when he's going to really turn on the comedian. And they left like buddy, buddy, buddy. But, you know, if he can't be faithful to his wives, he's certainly not going to be faithful to someone that he had dinner with. So this looks like the lessons that we learn is be careful of this stuff in our own lives, because these people are going to turn on you. So coming up in the more distant future is interesting that this would come up again. The Eight of Pentacles is that, you know, in reverse. Wow, lots of cards in reverse. That's really interesting. So the Eight of Pentacles, a seven. This is seven. I'm sorry, eight. I always get those two mixed up. Okay, the Eight of Pentacles in reverse is kind of like we kind of put our eggs in one basket, and you know the way we look at these celebrities and these people, and that it really wasn't planned that well, and you know they've just lost the whatever capital that we had. So I don't think he's going to become poor, but he may not be profiting as much, and that people, not as many people may be paying money to see his stand-up comedy act. Oh, I can imagine the drunk people heckling him. Oh, that I'd pay to see that. Okay. Then we have the hopes and fears. See, we all hope that we can be as rich as they are. But the fear is there's a really dark side to all of this, because with this, they're being isolated. And trust me, Bill, I don't know that he'll get death threats or anything like that, but he will be isolated, in that I think that anywhere there's an audience, someone's going to give a shout out to him. And this kind of goes with the oligarchs, is that no, they can't go out and take their dogs for a walk or anything like, because everybody hates them. So this is like really, I always think of this as be careful what you wish for, and the abundance thing, and that maybe again it's that this is a very good lesson in who we choose to think is great. And I think I want to do one clarifier, because this deck is so interesting. Death. Beginnings and endings. So I think what people may be starting to do is really looking at this and reassessing their values. And the death is giving up a lot of this celebrity and wealth worship and all this sort of thing, because all it was a bunch of Kid Rock, just a bunch of rich people. So this is the end of that, which would be great. This is really riding the horse towards burning, even though he's got money. He doesn't, it's not like he has gold toilets or any of that other nonsense, and he would certainly never have dinner with Trump. So it's figuring like, sure, it's nice to have some wealth, but think about what you're doing with it, and you give up the old idea of what it can buy you. So in conclusion, we have the Four of Cups again, and this makes you look at this whole thing like, is he really running out of options? And is maybe his star isn't shining as bright anymore, and that you know, here he got this invite or whatever, and just thought, well, maybe I'll just see what this can do for me. So in my really cynical sort of thing, it's like, I know I shouldn't take that cup, but I'm going to take it anyway. And then this goes to cups in reverse, all like the emotional stuff. Substance abuse, he's a pothead, so, big deal. He likes his weed and all that sort of thing. But, I don't consider that any big deal. Probably is, but at any rate, so it's kind of like he's feel like this could be the grasping at straws. So just to put a clarifier, oh, here we have these two little tykes. So this is kind of, I think, where he may be at now. It's like, here's the truth, but one side of me wants to, grab the steadier, the pole of this which keeps the banner quickly, and the other one says, no, I just want the banner, immediate gratification. And meanwhile, the truth is staring with the sun right in right in their faces, and they're turned away from it. They're just grasping at the banner, which is the fun, the party thing. And yet the truth is there, and it's not going to be pleasant. I will say this is telling me that he's going to live to regret it. I don't know that he will ever go public with that, but I do get a sense that he will probably live to regret this. And I think we need to not become totally wrapped up in it, but I thought that this presented some interesting things about how messed up our values are, that it's a very good lesson to learn. So I would just say, sort of pay attention to what's happening. I somehow suspect he may drop the subject after a while, because I think he's going to realize that it might have been a big mistake. But we just have to wait and see. So with that, I think this will be coming out sometime in the early evening of Monday. So I'll see you soon. Bye.